I believe that as long as the purpose of the art is not to exemplify the artist, but rather the creator God, then a beautiful piece of artwork can provide a good context for worship in church, and it can show people the beauty and wonder of God's creation.
I think art in the church is important because, we should have a beautiful place in which we worship God in, and because God is the epitome of beauty, and beauty is truth applied. And this world, they throw messages at us of what beauty should be, and yet we always, as Christians, we need to bring it back to God, because God is what beauty is. And so the church, being God's hands here on earth, we need to tell the world what we believe beauty is.
There's at some churches they have art as worship. When they're doing the worship songs, they have somebody up there who's painting, and they just paint like what God has been telling them lately. And sometimes they paint it for their people, and sometimes they paint it for themselves, and it just like represents like their life and what God's telling them in their life. So that's worship.
I know the church is the body of Christ, but yet at the same time having the building and having it look nice is very important to any type of organization, especially a church. Therefore, having pictures on the walls depicting all sorts of religious scenes to even just decoration will be beneficial for the church and very aesthetically pleasing to the eye for the visitors who come.
Like, back then the art was to make you think, and it was to like bring forward like different aspects of who God is. So, I liked the
I have many things that I enjoy. I like theater because you can glorify God through acting. And I like science because you can learn about the many different things that God has created and designed so perfectly. But none of them are quite the same as art. I love creating things and mimicking God's beautiful and glorious creation. I love all the colors that He has put into creation and the many beautiful designs that He has incorporated into it.
art is just mimicking God because He created the world, and He created all the diversity and all of the like all the stuff. And what we do as artists is we just take what He's done and just make it slightly different, and then we put it in a nice pretty picture. And in that way we get to like mimic God, not to be God, but just to like mimic Him and do His stuff. And that's worship.
Does art belong in the church? As long as the art itself is glorifying God and not the man that designed it, because God himself is the one who designed the man that made the art, then art should absolutely be in the church.
Well, I think it would be wonderful to have the opportunity if the church had a gallery to, display my artwork and show how much God has done in my life through my art and use that to further his kingdom.
Yeah.